Hi guys, welcome back to the James Bond Show. I'm your host, Krazy Kajeevie, with no fears, limits or substitutes, the bad boy of James Bond, and I'm back with 00 Scooby. Okay guys, thanks for joining us. This episode is about Aiden Turner. More importantly, it's not an episode where I'm trying to say, oh, this is why Aiden Turner should be cast as James Bond or a potential James Bond. What I'm saying in this video is so definitively, Eon Productions, stop with the casting ideas. Stop with saying we're going to do this casting. We're trying to work out what the villain is. Then when we get the villain, we can work out who we're going to hire as James Bond from there in the story, etc. Forget that. Barbara, as you always say, you go back to Ian Fleming. So if you're going to go back to Ian Fleming, look at the character that was created by Ian Fleming and ask yourself honestly, even if you've got 100 potential James Bond actors, which actor 100% or at least 99.9% matches everything Fleming wrote and also the expectations of the James Bond fans. And you can't go past Aiden Turner. You cannot go past him, guys. I've really thought about this today, and to the point where I wasn't going to do this video. This was not part of my plan during the week, and I decided I have to do a video on this. Why Eon Productions should just forget about a long casting search. Imagine the thousands of dollars they spend on doing casting as well. It would be crazy. Those that are really shortlisted would have to be put up in hotels, brought to the UK, because they could be in any part of the world. A lot of actors don't actually live in England anymore, even British actors, etc. Why go through all that when there is Aiden Turner? He's 39. I actually thought today earlier he was 37. He's not. He's now 39, if we believe IMDb or Google or Wikipedia. He's 39 years of age. He's 1.83 centimeters. So that's exactly 6 foot. That's my height, 6 foot. I think I'm just a fraction over 6 foot. But he's basically my height at 6 foot. He's tall enough, dark, handsome, brooding, good looking. The only thing he really doesn't have, like Ian Fleming's Bond did have, was the blue-grey eyes. And a lot of people don't realise Fleming's Bond had blue-grey eyes. But when you look at the thumbnail, have a good look at the thumbnail, guys. Not just the main picture of it, but the smaller picture of it. And I will be putting this photo up. I've sent around these memes of Aiden Turner is Ian Fleming's James Bond 007. And that, the meme is great. So go to James Bond Fans Would Love on Facebook and check it out. But that says it all. I honestly don't believe, even if you have Henry Cavill or you have Richard Madden, and particularly if you have Daniel Kaluuya or Idris Elba or Regé-Jean Page, you cannot have any of those actors, those black actors, or any other coloured actors like Henry Golding. You can't have their name with is Ian Fleming's James Bond. It makes no sense. You have to completely, as I've talked about this week in other videos, you have to make up a complete different background for this character. Therefore, if you do that, this is just logical. We've got to forget emotion. We've got to forget political correctness and all that rubbish. Just look at facts. That's a tree, that's a dog, that's a car. Ian Fleming's James Bond is white. That's where it's at. He's just white British. Now, Aiden Turner is Irish, English, same thing, really, honestly. And Pierce Brosnan was also Irish as well. But once again, guys, go to the thumbnail, have a look at that image where he's got the lock of hair. I saw that today, and thank you to one of the subscribers here who's now become friends with me on Facebook, and he's joined us over at James Bond Fans Would Love as well. And he sent me that image. And I'm like, actually, no, he put that image on James Bond Fans Would Love. I took it, I then memed it, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, seriously, I'm not gay, but I would double the male wardrobe in my life for Aiden Turner. He is, because too, guys, I've been reading the Ian Fleming Bond books, and when I've been reading them, I'm either seeing Timothy Dalton or I'm seeing Turner. Now, if you go to the thumbnail and look at the grey section of it, so not the great hair lock photo on the right, but you go to the other image, which is Aiden Turner from the 3-part miniseries, Then There Were None. Look at his eyes. Look at the side of his face. That's Dalton. He literally looks like the love child of Timothy Dalton and probably some hot European supermodel. Dalton loves his ladies. Now, I'm going to go through a few things here. Okay, so as I said, so he's 39. He was born on June 19th, 1983. He's 6 foot tall. His net worth is approximately $8 million. There's a reason I'm including that. Now, the films and TV series he has been in, other James Bond channel hosts say, you know, he's got this massive amount of work and all that. He really doesn't. He actually only really started out in 2007. He's done a few short films, but mainly his work has been TV series. The biggest films he's been in to date are really the 3 Hobbit films. Outside of that, he hasn't been in any massive films. He is known globally, of course, for Poldark, that ran from 2015, I believe it was, to 2019, which I've seen a few episodes of, and yeah, he's got that real Timothy Dalton vibe. Now, other work he's done is a series called Being Human that started in 2009. And he shows his, you know, he speaks with his Irish brogue in Being Human. It's a kind of a vampire monsters type series. And again, he's captivating in it. He's really, really brilliant. I haven't sat down and watched a whole bunch of series, but I did go into YouTube and I watched pretty much every major scene with him in it in research for this video over the last few hours. And you can look at that and think, yeah, this guy's going to be a star. Like, this guy's got something. But again, all the actors and the media, and remember, most of the articles we see are either given to scumbag reporters that are in some way paid off. And if it's not monetary payoff, I'm sure it will be, we'll get some tickets to Wimbledon for you. We'll get you tickets to the latest Elton John concert for you. And the reason they're doing that is because they are literally pushing odds, particularly for a company called Ladbrokes, and they're pushing James Bond betting odds. That's why if you go through Google News or whatever, you will see daily, oh, this actor's gone into favoritism, this actor's... They are making millions of dollars off you idiots. Not saying that my subs are idiots, but any idiot that sees that, right? Probably people that really don't get Ian Fleming's James Bond and what Barbara Broccoli goes for. And they see that and they go and bet money because the media are pushing it. It's criminal, it's scumbag-ish, and they should stop doing it. I just think it's really, really wrong. But anyway, so let's keep going through here. So The Man Who Killed Hitler, also a film he was in. The Secret Scripture, another film. See, these are not films that anyone would really know. The Last Planet, 2022, another film. I believe that's directed by Terrence Malick, who's a very prestigious filmmaker, very quiet, private filmmaker. And as I mentioned before, Then There Were None, the TV series. Also The Suspect, 2022, TV as well. So not a lot of... I knew I was about to sneeze. So sorry guys, that's scary scoops. So not a lot of big films at all. He's not super well known. And the key thing that Eon need for James Bond, we need this James Bond to not be known by other massive roles. And, you know, even with Poldark, I didn't know, the interesting thing is, guys, I didn't know Aiden Turner through Poldark. I didn't know him through the Hobbit films. You know how I came into knowing about Aiden Turner? Because suddenly the guy in Poldark is going to be the next James Bond. He's known now more for being a potential James Bond than he is for the roles and things he's played. That's just a fact. You put into the internet Aiden Turner and you will just see boom, boom, James Bond, James Bond, James Bond, James Bond, James Bond. Now, what I love about Aiden Turner, and I have mentioned this before here on the channel because I've been a big supporter of him for a long time, but what I really like is the fact that if you look at Sam Heughan, you look at James Norton, especially Henry Cavill, Tom Hiddleston, all these actors, they look like whoremongers. They look so desperate when they're talking about James Bond. Oh, I'd love to play that role. Yeah, I really want to play that role. Oh, I actually know Barbara Broccoli. Oh, yeah, I'm a big fan of the Bond films. They prostitute themselves. The one actor that turned around and he actually said, you know what, they're all rumours and they're just embarrassing and I don't listen to them, was Aiden Turner. He also turned around and he said, there's someone in that role, so I'm not going to talk about it. That was Aiden Turner. He also said, well, there's someone in the role, I'm not going to talk about it now, but if it comes up later, I'll look at it. That is the shizzle. That's the sort of thing. Barbara Broccoli that loves that X factor in actors, who she doesn't like these desperados. She likes people who play hard to get. And that's what Aiden Turner did. This guy is the epitome of Ian Fleming's James Bond. And he is what we need also, I believe, to help bring back, because it's going to go through the media and everything once he's cast as Bond, and he will be, I guarantee you, he will be cast as Bond. Krazy Kajeevie doesn't get many predictions wrong. At the age of 39, even if he's 41, he's a lot younger looking than Brosnan and Dalton when they started their Bond. He's a young looking, he'll be a young looking 40-year-old. So he's 39 now. They get their acting together. They're going to have that guy. If they do even a Bond film every 3 years, they're going to get 5-6 James Bond films out of this guy. He's one guy that he could be doing Bond into his early 50s. Same as, Roger Moore was mid to late 50s. Pierce Brosnan was just about to hit 50. And Daniel Craig, of course, was like 51. So he could definitely be James Bond for a really long time. But what I think Aiden Turner will do is, I think he will unify a couple of things here, and they're really important, so please bear with me. I think he will unify James Bond fans because he's not going to be able to be knocked. You're not going to knock him and say he's too short. You're not going to be able to knock him and say, oh, he's not attractive. Oh, he doesn't have X Factor. Oh, he's not kick-ass, because he's very physical in roles he's done. In what I've seen online from The Hobbit, he gets physical. He gets in there. I think he will be a James Bond actor that will build up. He's very ripped, but I think he'll put on muscle, and I think he will be doing a lot of his own stunts, and he'll be physical. But what I think we need with Aiden Turner, especially in that 3-part miniseries, which really was his James Bond audition in There Will Be None, is his eyes. A great actor can sit there, say nothing, but say everything at the same time. So they can sit there and they can give you off the script exposition without talking. And just with really intelligent direction and camera movement and great direction, and them understanding the context, the subtext as well, they can give an incredible performance. And Aiden Turner can do that. And that's why if you look at that image, the main image in the thumbnail, look at those eyes. Look at that guy. He is ready to be a dark, brooding Bond. Now, Barbara Broccoli's also saying she wants Bond to be more sensitive. They want to continue that sensitive thing. I think the perfect amount of sensitivity we ever got with Bond on screen was Timothy Dalton. The Living Daylights, especially when he's with Cara Maloney, right, and those romantic scenes up in the Ferris wheel. License to Kill, he was so deep, so emotional. Now, I don't think we should confuse sensitivity for not being emotional, for not being able to engage in anger and violence. I think sensitivity can push into that, because sensitivity can make you angry, can make you violent, can make you upset. So it's not just sensitivity in a sappy way. And that's why when you back that with physicality, Aiden Turner is perfect for this. He's just perfect for Bond. Put it this way. If Eon Productions don't cast Aiden Turner, they are not casting the greatest gift on a platter, on a silver plate, handed to them. And it will be absolute lunacy if they go, and I don't know what political pretense, pressure, whatever, but if they cast a coloured actor or a black actor to be progressive, then this is, to me, honestly, this is reverse racism. This is, we're going to ignore this white, UK guy, this Irish guy, we're going to ignore him when he's everything that Ian Fleming's Bond is and could be, and also perfect for the film star qualities an actor needs to play James Bond. We're going to ignore that because we're going to go and cast Daniel Kaluuya or Regé Jean Page because progressive lefties want this. And the worst thing Barbara Broccoli ever did, and I want to praise this woman because she's done some great things too, but this is just fact, guys. The worst thing she and Michael G. Wilson ever did was come out and say James Bond has to be British, but he can be of any colour. It was wrong, because once again, this is just fact. Forget your emotions, guys. This is fact. If you make James Bond black, you eradicate Monique Delacroix, his Swiss mother, from history. You eradicate Andrew Bond, the Scottish travelling salesman. He's gone. James Bond's history, Skyfall, all of it, it's gone. Everything even Daniel Craig did in the films with his British ancestry, including Skyfall and Kincaid, stories about his family dying in a rock climbing accident. It's gone. It's gone. It's fact. This isn't emotion. This isn't opinion. This is fact. Then James Bond now has to, they've got to come up with, unless they never address it, or it's going to be the elephant in the room, that James Bond has to be from an African nation. That's just fact. So where's he from? Uganda, Ghana, Algeria. Where's he from? Who is his father? Because his father's not Andrew. His mother's not Monique. You've completely changed the character. So no black actor can play James Bond, like no female can play James Bond, or a transgender can play James Bond, or even a midget can play James Bond. It's got to be cast appropriately, or it's not James Bond. Not just in what we see as an audience and what we feel and think, but in history of film and literature. I've been Krazy Kajeevie, guys. Keep on bonding. Till next time, say hi to your mum for me. And hope you've enjoyed this episode, but I've said everything and I'm going now. Me and Scooby, we're done. Let me know in the comments section what you think below. Tell me what you think of this. Aiden Turner, am I right? This isn't about potential casting, guys. This is actually about stop wasting time with the money with potential casting and just take this guy, make him James Bond. That's what the fans want. That's what logic wants. God bless, guys. See you next time. Keep on bonding. Say hi to your mama for me. Whee! Go Scoops! Wee, 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 wee. Do you want Aiden Turner as James Bond? Yeah.